Thank you all for being here. Will you join me for the pledge, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here on this day. We'll call the organizational meeting for January 6, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele.
Here.
Ms. Liskini.
Here.
Ms. Martindale.
Here.
Ms. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Bosso.
Here. Moving on to public hearing with our treasurer, Hugh Garside. Hugh?
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, we have the responsibility to do a public hearing on the tax budget. The tax budget is a financial plan required by the Ohio Revised Code to do once a year. It is for the 25-26 school year. What this does is allows the Franklin County Budget Commission to examine our financials, look at them to make sure that they are, we do need our taxes that are levied, that we have three levies or three types of property taxes. We have operating, general operating goes in our general fund. We have funds that go into our permanent improvement fund, and we have debt service fund that pays for the mortgages on the buildings that we've been building. So to collect these dollars, we need to show that we have the need to collect those dollars. So the tax budget shows that need. What the tax budget is not, the tax budget is not an appropriation resolution. We will have that done in June for this time frame. We'll do that in June for July 1, 2025. And so this just kind of gives the idea to the county that we are going to levy these taxes and collect these taxes. So the purpose of the public hearing is to allow anybody from our public that wants to speak on the tax budget to have the opportunity to do so. I put a notice out on December 5th in the Columbus Dispatch that said we were going to have this public hearing and said that we were going to have this organizational meeting on January 6th. So if anybody's here to talk about the tax budget, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Let's trust you.
All right, we can move on.
All right, thank you. Moving on now to adoption of the agenda. To recommend the Board of Education approve the agenda for the January 6, 2025 organizational meeting of the Southwestern City School Board. Can I get a motion to approve? Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Any additions or corrections to that? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Martindale.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Yes.
Ms. Liskini.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now to organizational action items. The first will be the election of president for the 2025 school year. It's recommended the Board of Education elect one of our members as president for a one-year term for this term of 2025. The floor is open now for nominations for the president for the 2025 school year.
I would like to nominate our current president, Mr. Christos.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Any other nominations? Seeing none.
We need a motion to close the nomination.
Motion to close that. Thank you.
So moved, Martindale.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. D'Angelo Steele. Roll call, please.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Yes.
Ms. Liskini.
Yes.
Ms. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes, I guess. All right, thank you so much, you guys. Moving on now to election of the vice president. Recommend the Board of Education elect one member as vice president for a term of 1 year. The floor is now open for nominations for vice president for the 2025 year.
I would like to nominate Camille Peterson.
Peterson, can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Any other nominations for vice president?
I would like to nominate Denise D'Angelo Steele as vice president.
I will second that. closing the nominations for.
So moved, Martindale.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson.
We'll do a roll call on that.
Alrighty.
This is just to, so the first one, we have a roll call for the first nominee. We have two nominees. We have Miss Peterson and Miss Steele, D'Angelo Steele. So the first one we'll do is Miss Peterson. We'll do a roll call vote on that. Mr. Bosso,
No.
Miss D'Angelo Steele,
No.
Miss Liskini,
No.
Miss Martindale,
Yes.
Miss Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, that one does not move through. We have the second one we have is Miss D'Angelo Steele. We'll do a roll call on that. Mr. Bosso,
Yes.
Miss D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Miss Liskini,
Yes.
Miss Martindale,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson.
No.
That Steele is named vice president.
So much. Moving on now to times and dates for our 2025 regular meetings. It's recommended the Board of Education adopt a calendar of meeting dates for the calendar year of 2025. Can I get a motion to move that forward?
So moved, Martindale.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a second?
Second, Liskini.
Thank you, Mrs. Liskini. Can I get a roll call, please?
Miss Martindale,
Yes.
Miss Liskini,
Yes.
Miss D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on to items for action under fiscal and operational management with Mrs. Liskini.
Thank you, President Bosso. This evening, we have 4 action items. These are lengthy, so settle in. The first one is Board Service Fund. It is recommended that the Board of Education establish a board service fund for the fiscal year 2025-26. The Ohio Revised Code 3315.15 provides for setting aside from the general fund a sum not to exceed $2 for each child enrolled, or an amount established by the Board of Education. This money is to be used for paying expenses of members of the board actually incurred in the performance of their duties or of their official representatives. It is recommended that the amount for the period July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 be set at $35,000. Number 2 is authorization for fiscal procedures. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize administration to carry out specific fiscal procedures for calendar year 2025, to purchase necessary services and materials, make payment of bills and salaries when due within appropriated amounts, and authorize the business manager to act as purchasing agent in accordance with Board Policy 6320, to invest funds when practical in certificates of deposit, U.S. government securities and treasuries, repurchase agreements, and others as authorized by Board Policy 6144 and the Ohio Revised Code, and request advances when necessary from the county auditor and treasurer. Sign payroll checks, accounting checks, and contracts with electronic signature, transfers and or advances from the general fund to other funds as necessary to meet obligations pending receipt of state and or federal funds. Approve disposal of property having value of less than $10,000 as stated in Board Policy 7300. Provide purchasing authorization as specified and required to the district administration within the scope of the annual appropriation resolution and any subsequent amendments to said resolution according to Board Policy 6320, and approve the tax budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, as presented at the budget hearing. Number 3 is the resolution to participate in state and federally funded programs for fiscal year 2025-26. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize the administration to apply for and accept state and federally funded grants and entitlements for fiscal year 2025-26. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize the administration to apply for and accept state and federally funded grants and entitlements as listed below. And I think you guys can see all those. I'm not gonna read 1 through 16, but there they are. And additionally, the Board of Education authorizes the administration to apply for any additional grant or entitlement not specifically listed, if said grant or entitlement is in alignment with the district continuous improvement plan. And number 4, designate the treasurer as the board's public record designee. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint the treasurer as public records designee for the Board of Education per Ohio Revised Code 109.43. As public records designee, the treasurer shall attend public records training annually on behalf of the Board of Education. Mr. President, after reviewing these items, I would like to move them for approval.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now to, we're just gonna adjourn the organizational meeting of the Board of Education. Can I get a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. D'Angelo Steele. Roll call, please.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. All right, we're gonna move right on into the regular meeting. Do we have to do roll call again, Hugh? You said we gotta do roll call again. Can I get the roll call for the Monday, January 6, 2025 regular school board meeting for the Southwestern City Schools, please?
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Here.
Ms. Liskini,
Here.
Ms. Martindale,
Here.
Mrs. Peterson,
Here.
Mr. Bosso.
Here. Moving on now to adoption of the agenda. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the agenda for the January 6, 2025 regular meeting of the school board. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Are there any additions or corrections to that? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Next will be the approval of the minutes for the December 9th, 2024 school board meeting. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
So moved, Liskini.
Thank you, Mrs. Liskini. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, roll call.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Meredith, I'm so sorry. Thank you. We're gonna back up a little bit. I forgot about Meredith.
It's okay. Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Southwestern City School District Board of Education. The Board of Education welcomes and values your comments in the time set aside during the first regular meeting of the month for public participation. So all concerns may be heard. Please observe these rules for public participation. Only 3 people may speak on the same topic. Each speaker may take up to 5 minutes to address the board, and each speaker may not reflect adversely on individuals. If a parent or community member has a complaint about an employee, it should be referred to the employee's supervisor. Those wishing to address the board on agenda items only may sign up at the podium prior to the start of the meeting. Tonight's forum to address the board concerning non-agenda items will include only those who had signed up by noon earlier today with the superintendent's office. These will take place at the end of tonight's agenda. As a reminder, public participation is an opportunity for the community to address the board in a formal setting. However, it is not designed or intended to be interactive. While we greatly appreciate individuals engaging with us, we expect the administrative and building level staff to work cooperatively with the community to address items discussed. We also request that the audience members be respectful of each participant in the process. We thank you for attending tonight's Board of Education meeting and for your support of our school system.
Thank you, Meredith. You just need to yell at me, Meredith.
All good.
I will take it personal. My wife does it all the time. All right. Sorry again, Meredith. Board reports. Does anybody have any board reports? Seeing none, we're going to move on to public participation related agenda items, which we do not have any of that tonight. Moving on again to student, staff, and achievement liaison report with Mrs. Martindale.
Mr. President, all right, so we have in our student achievement Big congratulations to Grove City High School NJROTC Cadet Morgan Zelenek. Has been selected to attend the Chief of Naval Air Force's private scholarship program. Only 10 cadets are chosen for this all-paid flight school this summer, and this is the second Grove City NJROTC cadet to earn this scholarship. So congratulations to that student. That is quite an honor. And then just moving on real quick here to Southwestern City School District Gives Back. I have a couple of things to mention because we've been doing a lot of good stuff in the community. Last month, Grove City High School Gridiron Greyhounds volunteered at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank Market in Grove City. And in total, 40 members of our football team greeted customers, assisted with stocking shelves, helped customers check out, and helped load groceries into cars. So great job, Greyhounds, for sacrificing their time during the holidays to do that. In December, 9th grade student council members at Grove City High School took on a community service project, making Christmas cards for local senior citizens in Grove City. So that is wonderful, and great job to them to cheer up our fellow community members who are in different senior homes. And then last month, December, Southwestern Preschool Program held a food and toy drive for the holidays, and through donations, they were able to support 10 of our district families with that. So quite a blessing, very nice. Thank you to them. And then also in December, Highland Park Elementary School families held a canned goods and dry goods it's called the Kindness Food Drive is what it was called. The student council created all the marketing materials and kept tabulation throughout the drive. Through the drive's efforts, Highland Park was able to donate 1,087 food items to the White Christmas Food Drive benefiting Grove City families. In addition to Highland Park last month, students at Franklin Heights High School collected over 3,000 canned food items also for that White Christmas Food Pantry initiative. So I just want to say thank you to all of the staff and families that participated in all of these things, and how wonderful that was for our community to get to them. That wraps up my student and staff achievements.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Moving on now for items for action under fiscal and operational management with Mrs. Liskini.
Thank you, President Boso. This evening, we have 6 action items under fiscal and operational management. Number 1 is revised permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2024-25. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the revised permanent appropriations CX1. Number 2 is investments and financial statements for December 2024. It is recommended that in accordance with section 135.14 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Board of Education approve December investments and cash position report for the month of December 2024, CX2 and X3 as submitted. Number 3 is the payment of bills. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve payment of bills according to the list of checks for the month of December 2024, CX4. Number 4 is donations. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the donations of $31,461.15 as detailed in X5 and authorize letters of appreciation be sent to the donors. Number 5 is authorization to pay bills in accordance with section 5705.41 of the Ohio Revised Code. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize the treasurer to pay bills for December which were not processed in accordance with section 5705.41 of the Ohio Revised Code, CX6. And number 6, approve the master supply agreement with Direct Energy Business, LLC. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the master supply agreement with Direct Energy Business, LLC to supply electricity at a fixed adder per kilowatt hour of 0.015 cents for the period of July 2025 through July 2027. Mr. President, after reviewing these items, I would like to move them for approval.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now for items for action under policy with Ms. D'Angelo.
Thank you, Mr. Bosso. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the first reading of the following new policy. It's policy 2265, protection of individual beliefs, affiliations, ideals, or principles of political movements and ideology. By having this policy, it gets us in line with House Bill 214 that states we need to have this policy. That's move it for council.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yeah.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes, moving back to Mrs. Martindale with schools, school and community.
All right, so we've got a couple places our students want to travel to. So let's talk about that. All right, so the first one is Central Crossing High School Winter Guard students have the opportunity to travel and compete at the WGI Regional Competition in Flint, Michigan. This trip will take place February 21st through the 23rd. Students will not miss any days of school, and all trip expenses are paid by band boosters. The second item is Central Crossing High School Winter Guard. Students have the opportunity to go to the same competition, but in Knoxville. I thought I was just reading the same thing twice, but it is different. So this one is March 7th through the 9th. Students are going to miss one day of school, and trip expenses are paid again by those band boosters. Central Crossing softball team wishes to compete and train in Cocoa Beach, Florida. This trip is planned for March 23rd through the 28th. Students are not going to miss any school, and expenses are paid through team fundraisers and athletic boosters. This is the fourth one. Grove City High School and JROTC wants to travel to Indianapolis to participate in a regional drill meet at Pike High School and visit the Indiana War Museum in Indiana. This trip is planned for February 21st and 22nd. Students will miss one day of school. Trip expenses will be paid out by NJROTC fund. And then the fifth item is Grove City High School Student Council wishes to attend a leadership development seminar type thing here in Port Clinton High School in Port Clinton, Ohio. This trip is planned for March 14th and 15th. Students will miss one day of school. Trip expenses are paid by the students and parents and then student council funds. So having reviewed these 5 items, I move them for passage.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Can I get a roll call on that?
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes, moving on now for items for action under personnel with Mrs. Peterson.
Okay, for tonight's meeting, for the Personnel Department, we have 6 items involving 193 persons. This includes 8 certificated resignations, 10 certificated changes in employment, 144 certificated employments, 98 of those are supplementals, 7 classified resignations, 5 classified changes in employment, and 19 classified employments. After review of this report, I move it for passage.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second on that?
Second, Liskini?
Thank you, Mrs. Liskini. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving back to Mrs. Peterson for items for action for their master calendar and calamity day contingency plan.
Okay. So tonight, we bring forward, it is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the master calendar for the 25-26 school year, along with the contingency plan for the calamity days for 25-26 school year. Of course, you are not going crazy. You are looking at the exact same calendar that was presented before. So I am going to put that out there. It's the same calendar that was presented before. What I will say is that, after some discussion and review of the plans, we decided to move forward and bring forth this plan. And going forward, we will take in consideration the parents' feedback and community's feedback as we are looking forward to the next future calendars, to make sure we get all of that input. Therefore, I am moving these two items to be approved for passage.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Thank you. You know, just to add, thank you for your added input, Mrs. Peterson.
Because I knew it was gonna be asked.
But I did have a great conversation with the teachers union president, Amber, and found out the way, you know, they go about following and presenting their calendar to everybody. This board just got a lot of questions after that calendar was put out by the public. We didn't have good answers, to be honest with you. But going forward, like Mrs. Peterson said, we will definitely have the community involved and parents that are really the stakeholders in this calendar. But I just wanted to add that. I think we're all definitely understanding it more and just the process that we go through for that calendar. So thank you, community. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now to public participation for non-agenda items. We have one with this Melissa Gardner, which was, Melissa here? Melissa's not here. Alrighty, I guess we're gonna move on then. We're gonna move on for items for discussion on, for the board. Any items for discussion? Seeing none, we're gonna keep moving on, and after that, I motion to recommend the Board of Education be adjourned for the January 6, 2025 school board meeting. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson, Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here.